What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. Hey, I'm in the group Black Men Still Venting. And, cats are saying goofy stuff in there. And, they some alright dudes, but sometimes there's some goofy ideas going around in there. So let me say this again. And let me make it in unequivocally clear terms. In terms of the sexual market, in terms of relationships, old school sexual contract or old school social contract is dead. This whole build it and she will come is into the 21st century, in the age of gynocentrism, is build it, she will come, she will divorce rape you and take half of it and probably leave you semi-suicidal. That's what it is nowadays. In no time in human history have women had so much freedom, both economically and socially, like they have today. They don't need your money. Game is king in the 21st century, in the age of gynocentrism. Game is everything. I'm not saying be broke. Go build it for you. Yeah, eventually someone's going to come along. Yes, of course, because women like it when you spend on them. And they don't have to spend their own money. But she doesn't need you to do that. And the moment she finds that alpha dude that gives her those gyno tingles, she will abandon you and your built up little palace, just like rich women have been banging the pool boy for decades and generations and, going for the little street scum thugs. This isn't new. It's just more open nowadays. They have more access to these guys because, of the 21st century and gynocentrism. That strong, hard, shaming patriarchy, aka they stopped slut shaming, all that's gone. Now slut shaming and slut walks are in. This dudes ain't walking around with, top hats and bowler hats and suits and whatever else. Hey, my woman has been cheating on me. Oh, you mean Lady Elizabeth from such and such road? And then her whole family shamed. And then they just, either have to change towns or they become broke because nobody will do it to them. Where are you guys at? What century and decade do you live in? Where does this exist? Look at the third world. It's even ending there. Dudes talking about they want to fly out. Hey, you know what? Fly out. The women are still intact there for the most part. They're not damaged women. Absolutely, I agree. But even there, old school social contract, it's ending. Why? Because of groups like the IMF and the UN and UNESCO and all these, or not UNESCO, sorry, but all these humanitarian agencies giving women in specific access to education and microloans. And I'm not saying they shouldn't do that stuff, but they should make it like universal to men also. But what they're doing is they're offering this predominantly to women. And then what happens? The woman moves up the social economic ladder. Her man doesn't. She outstrips him in both education or finances or economics, or one or the other. It could be both, or it just needs to be one. And what happens? Divorce rates are on the increase in the third world. Just look at the statistics. Go look it up. It's causing chaos globally. So, old school social contract, it's dead. Until we have an complete entire societal collapse of the West, which basically fuels the world, because the world is basically building or digging up or mining the raw materials or putting together the stuff that we buy. When we collapse, nobody's going to buy all that junk because it's overpriced and they're not going to be able to afford it. So everything's going to come to a standstill and it'll be a global collapse. Until that happens again and we have hard times again, those days are over. Why do you think I advocate learning game? I think you should get in a relationship. I absolutely do. You guys know this. You guys know I'm not MGTOW. I don't have anything against them. But at the same time, you also know that I'm like, if you're going to do it, go and do it right. But now the foundation is game. The foundation is no longer build it and she will come. That's just goofy talk. Where does this exist? Tell me where it exists. Where you're not going to get divorce raped or she's not going to cheat on you for coming with that blue pill beta game. That's AFC talk right there. That's average frustrated chump talk. It's just guys with hopeful and wishful thinking. That you're going to, I tell this brother all the time. I was like, dominance comes through game. It doesn't come through overt action. That includes spending money. It wasn't different back then. Just women didn't have power to run off. You don't think they didn't want to? Why do you think they did? Think about it. If you know anything about women and the way they think, and this is universal at all times, obligation does not bring about affection. And what dudes are talking about with dominance and whatnot through like, appreciation, through building it and she'll come. Dude, you got to give her the fairy tale. Where's the fairy tale in that? You're obliging her. You're obligating her to do something because you spent on her. Because you built it and she will come. And so you did that. Now she owes you affection. Get the frick out of here. Where are these women at? Where are they? And in the age of the internet, where can she not find better than you in a matter of a half hour or some goofy website or Tinder app or whatever else? Where some beta simp who's doing better than you can just swoop in and snatch her up because that's what you got her on. You're just setting yourself up for failure. Stop the goofy freaking talk. Really, just stop. Ludicrous. Ludicrous. This isn't 1857. I don't know where the frick these dudes are, where they live, where they're coming from, but that is some of the dumbest talk I've ever heard. And this is why dudes are getting their hearts broke. This is why dudes are so angry. This is why dudes are in perpetual red pill rage. If they ever open their eyes and come to the phase of red pill. Most dudes just, they're AFC beta chumps. They rinse and repeat the cycle, or they just walk around sour, bitter grapes, and they're like MGTOW, but not as good, because at least MGTOW, MGTOW, they come up with like concepts, ideas on a whole nother level. They've just knocked the hinges off of knowledge on women and entire society. These AFC cats, what are they? They're just going to go around moaning and complaining. Anyway, dudes, let me reiterate it. Old social contract is dead. It's dead. It's dead. Anything that comes up from that comes out of that, it's a zombie, and that thing's going to eat your face off, aka divorce rape. That's what's going to happen. You're going to get injured badly, financially, emotionally, maybe even physically, because now you got these crazy wenches out there cutting off dudes' winkies in their sleep. Nothing good's going to come from it. Give up that concept that it exists. It doesn't. Just stop. You sound ridiculous. You sound ridiculous. Otherwise intelligently sounding people, men, you sound like a flipping moron. You gotta stop. Please. Just stop. What, excuse me and allow me to get upset here. What ridiculous freaking century are you living in? It's 2017. What are we talking about here? Can you stop with the stupidity? We make these groups, black men venting or still venting. We make these red pill groups, and the dudes talk with this wishful, if things would just go back to the way they are. They're not the way they used to be. It's not going back there. And when it does, you know what? It's going to be so damn bad. The last thing that's going to be on your mind is banging some chick. Get your head out your ass. What are you talking about? I can't do this right now, y'all. I can't do this right now. This is your man, Abuamerican. Catch me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Abuamerican. I'll be back with a